And loves to hear, and every player loves to be a part of. Those words are big game. For Adelaide, they haven't played in a big game in the ice hockey community in a decade. That was the last time that their franchise in a national competition made the playoffs. For Brisbane, they haven't even been in a national competition for over a decade, and in their first year, they're playing in a preliminary final against each other. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Acacia Ridge in Brisbane, Queensland. My name is Eric Balnar, and I'm so happy to be calling this preliminary final of the Walker Cup playoffs with you tonight. It's the Adelaide Avalanche versus the Brisbane Rampage. There hasn't really been anything separating them at all during the season, to be honest. They finished equal in points. Each team won 3 games in the head-to-head matchup, and tonight they go head-to-head in a one-game winner-take-all matchup, with the winner advancing to Melbourne next week. Adelaide, they've been the best team since round 3, the most points in the PHL. Brisbane, they had a 7-game losing streak at one point, but they enter this game winners of their last 4 in a row, and there's been some key figures who have got them there. Let's start with Brisbane. Someone you need to keep your eyes on, Owen Softchuck. Owen Softchuck has been elite all season long, one of the best goal scorers in the competition. In fact, he led the competition in points. Owen Softchuck finished with 52. He's probably the MVP favorite in the competition. He's a Canadian import that's played professional hockey in Sweden, and he has been great all season long. He's been shut down in his last few games versus the Avalanche, though. Only 4 assists in his last 4 games. That means he scored 48 points in the other 16 combined. One of the big reasons for that is because of Adelaide superstar Jamie Woodman. That's Woodman on Softchuck right at the bottom of your screen. Now, Australians love to score goals. They love to get the points, but Jamie Woodman, the defenseman, smooth skating, silky, calm, physical, shows that you don't need to put up points to make an impact in the game. Adelaide are 10-2 with Woodman in the lineup this year, and 0-6 without him. When Woodman plays, Adelaide allows 2.6 goals per game and 26 shots against. When he's out of the lineup, they allow 39 shots per game and 4.5 goals against. That's a 2-goal swing. Meanwhile, they're not the only featured players. It may be offense versus defense between them, but there's some hot players entering this one, and look no further than Queensland captain Harley Anderson. He's on a 10-game goal streak, the longest active streak in the league, where he scored exactly 10 goals. You literally can count on him to put 1 in every game. He used to play in Adelaide. He played 2 years with these players and are very good friends with them. Meanwhile, on Adelaide, Jake Riley has emerged. 20 points in his last 9 games. He scored big goals. He scored shorthanded goals. He has scored goals that have got his team across the line, and that is what Adelaide will need from Jake Riley once again, him to score some big goals. But this game means a lot to both of the fan bases. We know there's a big crowd in Adelaide watching it, and in Brisbane, it's a sellout. We have our very own sideline reporter, Lachlan, down. We have Lachlan down by the rink. He's with a few players or a few fans rather, down by the ice. Lachlan, down to you.
For many things wintry, but tonight it's a sellout here at Acacia Ridge. We are here with a couple of the guys from the BTN crew, the rest of them around the corner. This place is going to get loud as we start going, but just tell us a bit tonight, what does this game mean to Brisbane as a whole tonight?
Oh, this will be massive. It'll be great to see us beat these dirty guys from Adelaide.
And what about you? It's only been in the city for about 12 weeks now, this team, and the city's absolutely come out to support it. Why is that this city has taken to this team so well?
Well, this is actually a big game for Brisbane. Versing a really good Adelaide side. I just want to support them, see if they can get into the final, and I guess Melbourne.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to throw it back up to Eric in a second. Thank you guys for checking it out. Enjoy the rest of the game, and we will see you guys later.
We know this game means a lot for people in Queensland. We also know it means a lot for people in Adelaide. A watch party of about 50 people at the Lockleys Hotel gathered to watch their team play. Of course, in every game, the goaltenders are going to play a massive factor. Starting in net for Brisbane will be Nick Novosedlak. He's the PHL saves leader. No man has had more pucks thrown his way. His 5'11" goals against average, it's deceiving because of his .893 save percentage. He stopped 44 saves, pucks on Sunday versus the Coast, 55 on Saturday, and he has single-handedly won games for the Rampage versus the Avalanche this season. Meanwhile, for Adelaide, Jeremy Friedrich. Before he left for the under-20s, he was the hottest goalie in the league. In the 5 games before his 3-week absence, he had a 4-1 record, a .244 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage, meaning he is well and truly the most informed goalie in the competition. In fact, with Team Australia, he had a shutout in a bronze medal game. Those are your netminders. That's the stage. That's what it means. We'll pause for a quick moment for the national anthem and then get ready for the first ever PHL preliminary final.
I extend that respect today to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people here today. Please rise for the national anthem.
This place is going to be loud. You can hear that and see them on your screen. The behind the net team, the crew behind there has been making noise all year long, and they will need their voices loud and proud tonight. Adelaide in white, Brisbane in black. They go head-to-head. They split their season series. Brisbane at the edge in points. That's why they're hosting the one-game prelim. The Melbourne Ducks await the winner of this game. But everything looks and feels just a little bit different tonight. It's a one-game, winner advance, loser go home final between teams that have been at each other's throats all season long. Nathaniel Benson will take the draw for the Avalanche. Owen Softchuck will take the draw for the Rampage, and we are underway as the Rampage play this back on their defensive line. They'll dump this in behind the goal. Jamie Woodman plays this off to Zach Steele, and Woodman gets dumped right away. Brisbane trying to play physical, and now Softchuck laid down Daniel Chen behind the play, and it took exactly 15 seconds for the officials to make their first call of the game, and I think this is going against the Brisbane Rampage. Brisbane trying to set the tone physical early. This has been a calling card of this team all season long. And it's Jordan McTaggart. We'll have more on him later in the broadcast, who goes in there. So Adelaide's power play will go to work just 13 seconds into the game. Adelaide with the league's worst power play at just 14.1%. Daniel Chen and Nathaniel Benson will try to dig this out of the corner. Owen Softchuck there in support. Chen back from the under-20s as well, as this gets poked out and all the way back towards Jeremy Friedrich, who will touch the puck for the first time. 4 members of the Adelaide Avalanche were with Team Australia's under-20 team. All but Ben Hanberg are back for this game. Woodman drops it off to Jake Riley, and Riley almost has that taken away from Softchuck, and entering the line, Brisbane, who have been shifty on the PK this year, almost had a break. Woodman will carry this into the attacking zone. Puck in behind the play, cycles it back towards the right point. He'll walk the line, so strong on the puck, fires one on net, and Nick Novosedlak is in the game with his first stop of the night. Daniel Chen pokes it around the corner and goes all the way back to the right point and out. This barn is loud. I hope you can hear that wherever you're watching the game from. It is an electric atmosphere in Brisbane tonight. Jordan Freeman Also back in the lineup for Adelaide after a couple weeks in Canada. He's Adelaide's third import that's in this game after Johan Levesque and Joey McDougall. And a good setup here by the Brisbane PK as Harley Anderson tips this one out. Adelaide will roll 3 forward lines and 1 spare forward and 2 defensive pairings and 1 spare defense. Brisbane will roll 3 fair lines, 3 full lines, and a couple defensive pairings of their own. Joey McDougall digs this out of the corner, working against Bertosa. McDougall back to Sack, walks the line through traffic, tipped down low, rebound in front. Nova Sedlak clears that in behind the goal. Adelaide keeps it in at the right point. Steve Best grabs it behind the goal. Nolan Maley there in support. Maley has this poked away, and Brisbane should be able to clear, and that should do it for the first power play opportunity of the game. And Adelaide will go 0 for 1 to start. Puck played around the corner, shot on net in face of the goal, and it goes a little bit wide into the corner. Team skirmish for it. Sack pokes this out to Steve Best. Best has a man all over him, dropped back to the point for Hazel. 4 assists last weekend. Johnny Bale has the puck seep underneath the glass, but Brisbane doing a good job of killing off that first opportunity. That would have sucked a little bit of life out of this crowd, which has been pretty vocal early on. Brisbane were on that mid-season 7-game losing streak. They stormed out of the gate. They started 6-2-1 before losing 7 in a row. That coincided with an injury to their other import, Jordan McTaggart, who's been lighting up the league with goals. He returned to the lineup. They've won their last 4. They are 10-2-1 with McTaggart in the lineup and 0-7 without Adelaide's equivalent of a Jamie Woodman. Those two have not played each other yet this season. Jake Riley throws one on goal, loose puck in front, and it will be scooped up by Brisbane's Anthony Santilli, who gets upended at the center line, and it's finally tipped back to the point. Johan Levesque, the team leader in goals, will play this forward and in behind the goal. Brisbane's calling card in this game you'd expect to be their physicality. Adelaide trying to use their youth, speed, and endurance. Santilli was almost behind the Adelaide defense. Adelaide chips this forward. Trying to dig it away is Julian Friedrich, who gets it off to Riley. He was looking for Johan Levesque, who is standing in a little pocket in front of the net. Danger man Owen Softchuck on the ice. He's cut towards the center of the ice as his partner in crime, Jordan McTaggart, will carry it in down low. McTaggart, side of the net. Friedrich searching for it, and that goes in to the corner, and it's played off by Jack Connor. Jack Connor, arguably the best defenseman on Brisbane, and Jake Riley is on the other end of a big hit. Jordan McTaggart has come out, throwing down the tempo. Friedrich plays this aside, scooped up by Zach Steele. He's getting the switch to defense for this game. He's played about half the season forward, half the season defense. Jordan Smith drops it back for Anthony Barnes. 23 points in the second half of the season. He has exploded out of the second part of this year. Barnes centering play. That's tipped by Smith. Loose puck in front, and it's gobbled up by Captain Joey McDougall, but he can't clear the zone. Finally played by Benson. Seeps it forward to Steele. Steele will join the rush. Try to drive towards the net. He's in behind the defense. Puck tangled up. Nova Sedlak might have got a stick to get it in the corner. Shen digging away at it. Brisbane will play this back behind their goal and wrap it around the boards, and it will go all the way out into the neutral zone area. Woodman over to McDougall. McDougall trying to slow the tempo down off to the right side. Dishes it to Steele. Steele tries to find a man up, and it will be Daniel Chen that will beat out the icing call on Johnny Bale. Chen tips it back behind the goal. Here's Benson. Centering play in the slot, and Nick Nova Sedlak will hold on to it. Shots are even 3-3 right now. No A-grade scoring opportunities. Feels a little bit like people don't want to make the first mistake, but Jordan McTaggart is not afraid to get down and get physical in this game. You expect that in playoff hockey. You expect the temperature to be turned off. Off the draw, Tom Sack had a shot. He scored almost a mirror image of that last week. Jordan Freeman tips it forward. Adelaide takes a swipe at it. Sack from Perth trying to tip this into the slot. Jake Hazel tries to cut it off, and now here might be the first good opportunity for Brisbane. Carrying it into the zone, getting a weak shot on net with Stefan Speck as it's tipped back behind the goal. Speck chasing after it. Hazel gets there first. Adelaide leading a man ahead. Tom Sack throws one on net, and it goes in behind Nova Sedlak and takes a funny bounce. Knocked into the corner. McTaggart carries it up, and here comes Owen Softchuck. Softchuck, so silky, has himself cut off by Jamie Woodman, but Softchuck somehow gets around and throws a shot off the side of the goal before Woodman will carry it up the other end of the ice. Woodman skating it through traffic, in on the goal, sharp angle shot. Nova Sedlak gets down and makes the save. Nova Sedlak, 44 saves and 55 saves last weekend in his 2 games respectively. Brisbane needed to win their last 4 games to host the prelim, and they did, and I think Nova Sedlak has been a big reason for it. Maley chips it forward. John Bale, former former Blue Tongue, with Gold Coast, loose puck in front, backhanded shot, rebound in tight, swallowed up by Nick Nova Sedlak, and that might have been Adelaide's best opportunity yet. Noah Maley just trying to chip the puck into space, another player that comes back from the under-20s. Johan Levesque, the French-Canadian that moved to Perth about 4 years ago and has been spending his time in Adelaide over the last year playing in the National Hockey Super League and now the Adelaide Avalanche. Go figure, he leads the team in scoring. Flick forward into the neutral zone. Tip back. Entering the zone is Ben Spillane. He plays it off to the right side. Harley Anderson just a little bit offside. So now teams into the game. And it's an unfamiliar position for a lot of these players. Jamie Woodman and Tom Sack have played some AIHL prelims, but a lot of these Adelaide players haven't played a semifinal game at this level before. And Brisbane, of course, haven't had a team in a national competition in a long while. So it's foreign territory for both these teams. Best of Queensland versus the best of South Australia. Daniel Chen in tight, scores! Daniel Chen finds a seam from a sharp angle, and you can welcome him back from the national team by putting a goal in the back of the net. It comes off the turnover. And Chen, who was red hot before he left to the national team, had a great weekend here in Brisbane. Scores the first goal. 18 years old, Daniel Chen. He's got ice in his veins. He's won a couple championships in a row with the Jokers in the local competition. He always seems to score on debut. He's a big game player. You think back to round 5 when Adelaide needed to break a mini slump. Daniel Chen scored the winning goal versus Brisbane with about 5 minutes to play, and he scores the first one here. 1-0 Adelaide. Let's see how both teams respond. Joey McDougall walks through, slaps one on net, rebound, pop free, and Jake Hazel does a good job of keeping it in the attacking zone. Adelaide, last time they were in Brisbane, they controlled the puck possession. They spent 34 minutes inside the blue line, which is an excessive amount of time. They'll be looking to play that puck possession game again. Softchuck has other ideas. Creates space, tip forward, and Jeremy Friedrich might have got a piece of it. Puck back to the point. Long shot through traffic, whistles wide. McTaggart and Softchuck almost just combined again. Softchuck lurking around. Puck on his stick. The danger man, 52 points. The first weekend he played Adelaide, he had 9 points in 2 games in 2 weeks. Bumped off the puck, and the goal scorer, Daniel Chen, carries it up the wing, cuts it through to the left side, right to where he just scored that goal. Looking for someone at the point, but he gets tied up. Finally played back. Steve Best tries to keep it alive in the attacking zone. Adelaide out shooting Brisbane 8 shots to 3 right now in the first 8 minutes of this game. Daniel Chen scored at the 13:24 mark. Brisbane carry the puck out of the zone. Adelaide deposits a hit. Centering play in the slot, nobody there. Jamie Woodman, lob pass ahead, looking for Zach Steele. That one's blocked and it's tipped forward. Steele works his way down in the corner. Bumped off the puck by Marco Bertosa, the oldest player, or the oldest skater, I should say, in the PHL. 48 years old. One of the most in-shape players, too. Bertosa played in the AIHL back in the 2000s, in 2008 to about, whenever the goal tongues folded. And you see that great opportunity. Softchuck found McTaggart, and Jeremy Friedrich just got enough of it to make the save. And Brisbane almost responded nearly instantly. Adelaide will be trying to rely in this game in a lot of their strength and their legs as the game goes on. They pride themselves in what they think they're the most in-shape team in the competition. They've been training with Sean Baker at peak and with Steve at mind and movement, probably the most regimented and best off-ice program that I've seen in Adelaide ice hockey. And they have bridged that gap from kind of those local players to elite talent, thanks to guys like Sean Baker. And when they play teams, often oppositions remark, my goodness, your kids don't stop. Adelaide will be trying to rely on that and use their legs as the game goes on. So they have to be in the game late, to be well positioned late. They've come back from 3 goals down multiple times. They just can't put themselves in that situation. Shot on net from McTaggart. Friedrich fighting the puck, and he finds the rebound. Those two are dangerous to watch. Jordan McTaggart, 17 goals, 12 assists in his 13 games played. Busted up the wing, and a lot of those good opportunities come from shots just like this. That's just the 4th shot on goal. Adelaide will try to dominate that shot category. Brisbane actually got outshot in both their games last week versus the Central Coast. Nova Sedlak was a huge factor. Up at the center line, intercepted, and Jamie Woodman carries it out to the right wing. Will float one in on goal, and both goaltenders rebound control. Looking all right early. Adelaide mixing up the lines. Notably, no Darren Corstens in this game. He will be back. He played in all 20 games in the regular season, and I'm sure he's watching at home right now, but he'll be back for the grand final should they make it. That's a huge out for Adelaide. He was their intern captain when Joey McDougall missed 4 games. And no Darren Corstens to complement Adelaide's top line. The mustache line is a huge out. McDougall chips it down low to Daniel Chen. Chen lays it off to the left point for Zach Steele. Back down low for the goal scorer, Daniel Chen. Softchuck trying to chip this one away and trying to get it out near boards, but Joey McDougall will just ream this around the boards, and it's finally cleared by the Brisbane defense, who will have an outlet pass to the center line for McTaggart. McTaggart, nice pass ahead for Softchuck. McDougall interfered with Softchuck just enough. McDougall doesn't like the call, as you see Daniel Chen. That'll be one to watch, hobbling off the bench. But it might have been on that hit right there. I think he got hit in the face. Yeah, right there. Derry Adler just getting in and kind of awkwardly colliding in the boards. On the other end of the ice, though, Jordan McTaggart had a pass over to Owen Softchuck, and that drew a penalty, so Joey McDougall will sit for 2 minutes or less. And Brisbane's power play, which is absolutely lethal, by the way, when McTaggart and Softchuck are playing together, will have an opportunity. That surely is one of the keys to victory for Adelaide, is stay out of the box. McTaggart, the other Canadian import, finds his buddy Owen Softchuck. Softchuck centering play to Anderson, loose puck in tight. Jeremy Friedrich cuts off the angle. Anthony Barnes, who's been on a heater lately, 16 goals on the season, 12 assists, and a lot of them have come from opportunities just like this. Brisbane moves the puck very well on their power play, and it all runs through 39 and 91. The Canadian duo of McTaggart and Softchuck. Softchuck avoids 2 players, whips it across to McTaggart. It bounces off the far boards and right back to the stick of McTaggart. Cycles it off to Anthony Barnes. Barnes fans on the shot, and Jake Hazel will carry this one out. Hazel will drift this up the right wing and take it deep. Lobbed over to the left side. Maley across, and Hazel swung and missed on a great setup. Will have a stoppage in play. Adelaide, the #1 penalty kill in the league, although their percentage dropped off over the last 6 games. They also missed their 2 best penalty killers in Noah Maley and Daniel Chen. And here was Jake Hazel, Nathaniel Benson rather, or Jake Riley rather, he found, and Hazel almost had a shorthanded goal himself. Still about a minute and 10 seconds to go on the power play for Brisbane. This is their first opportunity of the game. Shots at 10-5. Up to the left side, McTaggart, beautiful vision, finds Adler, and that right-handed glove of Jeremy Friedrich makes the save. Bit of an adjustment for some of the players going against Jeremy Friedrich. He is a right-handed glove, where most Australian goalies are left-handed gloves, so you might be standing there as a shooter thinking, I'm going to shoot blocker side. And often, if you're not used to Jeremy Friedrich, you're surprised to learn that that's actually the glove side. Friedrich, pegged by many people as being that next #1 goalie for Australia, as Adelaide will bank this out. #1 penalty kill in the competition. Adelaide led the competition in goals against, in terms of they didn't allow very many goals. Shots against, goal differential, and since round 4, they had 26 points in the PHL. The Ducks were the next closest with 22. Brisbane digs this out of the corner. Derry Adler battling against Tom Sack behind the goal as they have time for one last positive setup on the power play. Santilli chips it off the boards, gloved down by Sack, but he can't clear. Puck pops free to Jake Hazel, and the 19-year-old will play this in the neutral zone and buy some time for a couple changes. Daniel Chen back on the ice, big hit. Chen will scoop this up. He is the goal scorer, and Brisbane will take this all the way back as the penalty comes to an end. Teams both have had a power play opportunity, and neither team has been able to convert. 1-0 Adelaide. Off on the right side. Chen couldn't hold on the puck. That's Andrew Chen, Daniel's brother. Laid back behind the goal by Zach Steele. Zach Steele has matured a lot as a player this season. There's no doubt about that. With a couple timely goals down the stretch run here for the Avalanche. Teams chip away on the near boards. Adelaide down low, sharp angle shot. It goes through traffic, and it almost landed on Joey McDougall's stick before the puck hobbles its way back into the attack, into the Adelaide zone. McDougall tries to chip it forward. Anderson had the puck, and McDougall gave him a shot back, but Anderson somehow regathers it. Hazel all over the place tonight. Blocks a shot up the left wing. Hazel throws one on net. Novosedlak searching for it. He's got it, and it's save number 10. There's a look at the hit that Tom Sack and Zach Steele, or Jordan Freeman rather, combined for. Adelaide has been very effective in the last 4 games of containing Owen Softchuck. Softchuck had 9 points in his first 2 games versus Adelaide, and he's only had 4 points in his last 4 games versus the Avalanche. But 52 points on the season is not an accident. He is probably going to be the MVP. Novosedlak kicks the puck wide. Julian Friedrich is 16 years old. I think he's the youngest player playing in this game. Chips it around the boards. Tom Sack walks this out front. Backhanded play, rebound in front. Adelaide chipping away for it. The puck goes all the way back down. It will be icing if they can beat it out, and it gets waved off. Jamie Woodman has Barnes draped all over him, but somehow kicks the puck off to Zach Steele, and Adelaide will get it back to Woodman. Woodman loves to carry the puck out. Lob pass ahead, intercepted by Johnny Bale. Bale can't clear the zone. Friedrich knocks it down. Julian Friedrich can't hold on. Adelaide quite literally a team of brothers. 4 brother combinations on this team. Friedrich is one of them. Adelaide up the left wing. Sack. Centering play. Looking for Julian Friedrich. Steve Best there in support. Brisbane had possession, but they were wedged off the puck along the near boards. Takes an awkward bounce. Best chips it off to the right side, and a sharp angle shot. Novosedlak is busy as we expected. 13 shots. He's only let the one Daniel Chen squeak through. It was a great shot with 13-24, but not a lot of rebounds. We talked to a lot of people around the country, and they'll tell you that Nick Novosedlak on his day, there's very few goaltenders who can match what he can bring to the table, especially when he's switched on, and he's been in great form the last couple weeks. Scores off the draw! Jake Riley, the mustache man, has a playoff goal, and Adelaide has a 2-0 lead. It comes off the face-off. Levesque and Maley dig it out, and Maley just tipped this off to Jake Riley. And Riley, who has 20 points in his last 9 games, continues his fine form by giving Adelaide a 2-goal advantage. Long shot through traffic, goes off the back meshing, and it's tipped back along the mesh. That's just play on here at this bar. Maley chips it off the boards. Johan Levesque will carry this one out. Adelaide tries to chip it around the corner. And there's going to be a penalty called behind the play. Well, we'll see what the call is. There's a look at the goal again. Noah Maley back on the point sheet. It's going to be Johan Levesque getting the penalty. So Brisbane will have their second power play opportunity, and it's a crucial time to have a power play. This place was really loud to start the game, but Adelaide have controlled the play, outshooting them 14-6, and they scored the first 2 goals of the game. Brisbane just needs some positive momentum. They don't necessarily need a goal this power play, but they need positive momentum. McTaggart off at the right point. Daniel Chen all over him. Chip forward. Didn't leave the zone. Chen trying to be visible, tips it away. Daniel Chen's already got 1 goal, and he's going to carry it out shorthanded and just lob it towards the net before getting hit. Daniel Chen looking for a penalty. So look at Jake Riley and Daniel Chen. A lot of these Adelaide players grew up playing together. They're the Sammy Mantier generation, as you'll hear it be called in the Adelaide Ice Rink. Sammy Mantier, the head coach of this team. When he came over into Adelaide in about 2008. Played for the Adelaide Adrenaline, was actually on the last Adelaide Goodall Cup winning team in 2009. Took over hockey development primarily with a lot of coaching in the rink, runs the Ice Factor program, and a lot of these players are taught the Sammy Mantier way. Here's Barnes, in behind the defense, whips one on net. Puck goes back behind the goal, it's knocked off the top of the net. Woodman blows a tire behind the net, and he pushes a man off. It's a nice play to take away a chance and allows Joey McDougall to chip it in. Jake Riley's going to be the first man back, but Nova Sedlak will try to play it around the boards. Nearly intercepted. Harley Anderson will steady the ship and skate this one out. Captain Queensland with about 55 seconds to go on the power play. Anderson on a sharp Angleson. Scores! It went through! Harley Anderson gets a must-need goal for Brisbane. It found its way through. Friedrich can't believe it, and this barn has come alive. Just squeezed through. You can count on Harley Anderson to score exactly 1 goal a game. And when his team absolutely needed a goal, the captain found one. It wasn't pretty. Friedrich will want it back, but it's gonna work. And now this building has some life again, as Jordan Freeman just dumped Jordan McTaggart after the play, and Adelaide might be going in the box again. And now things are getting feisty between the teams. Boy, in the last 30, 40 seconds, the temperature has just turned up just that little bit. Wow. And Adelaide's gonna get a penalty. And so is McTaggart. There's a look at the play. So both teams are going to be in the box, both with 2-minute minors put on the board, so it'll be some 4-on-4 hockey. That might favor the likes of Owen Softchuck, although Jordan McTaggart is in the box. That's a big penalty that McTaggart took as well. It would have been a power play for Brisbane, but McTaggart takes one in retaliation. Adelaide scored the first 2 goals of the game. They silenced this barn, but Harley Anderson scored moments ago to make it a 2-1 game. And while Adelaide was looking like they could enter into some cruisy positions, they have to get back to work. Woodman enters the zone, sharp angle shot, loose puck in front of the net, and the net off its bearings. It's amazing this game of hockey, as soon as the word playoffs start, the intensity just picks up. The hits feel a little bit harder. The back checking is just that little bit more. The intensity is just amped up. And you can feel that in this barn. You feel like the next goal crucial. Here's Riley, walks in, big rebound, McDougall again, second opportunity, and Nova Sedlak made a couple big saves. He just get that feeling that if Brisbane, after being outshot 15 shots to 8, being down 2-0, if they could get back level before the end of the period, you'd almost feel like that's a win for Brisbane. If Adelaide can score the next goal, it's well and truly a dominant first period. These balancing moments will be a theme all night long. Off the draw, it's kicked back to Derry Adler, a Canadian that has lived in Queensland for quite a while now. Owns a bar in the Gold Coast. Owns one right next to his defense partner, Jack Connor. Adler will carry this one out. Adler chips it out of play. Derry Adler, the Players Association rep for Brisbane. A point of difference in the PHL is that the players have representation to help give feedback to how the league direction should be run. Each team has a representative, and they meet ever so often. Adler, that representative for Brisbane, and Joey McDougall is that for Adelaide. Off the draw, player checked down, but Jake Hazel called his name a lot, haven't I, to start this game. Carries it in, throws one on that big rebound was there. But a Brisbane player was there to gobble it up and chuck it out towards the center line. Here's Daniel Chen. He scored once already, trying to use his screen. That one gets tipped high and out wide. Brisbane chips it off the board. Here could be an opportunity down the right wing, 2-on-1. Barnes walks in. Jeremy Friedrich. A huge glove save to keep the visitors with a 1-goal advantage. And the hairs on everyone's neck came up when Harley Anderson dished that off to maybe the hottest player in the league right now, and Jeremy Friedrich made that look cool. 20-year-old Friedrich. A welcome return for Adelaide after both their starting goalies were away the last few weeks. Mateusz Trinka hurt, still is hurt. Jeremy Friedrich away with the juniors. Curtis Villani was excellent in his replacement, though. Went 3-3 in that time. Chipped off the near board, scooped up by Tom Sack. He tried to corral the puck and go towards the center of the ice, but Brisbane will try to draw it out wide, but it's intercepted by Tom Sack. Steele tries to chip it forward, trying to create a turnover. Softchuck plays it forward, and he found a man. Barnes dips to his right side, in tights Anderson. Anderson is tied up by Steve Best to take away the opportunity, and it allows Zach Steele to bolt up the ice. Steele will fire a shot through traffic. They're looking for that rebound shot. It's the 19th one Adelaide's thrown on goal. Now, notice Sedlak about that 900 save percentage. As you look at Friedrich save again, you figure Adelaide, if they want to score 4 or 5 goals, they're going to need 40, 50 shots on net. Already 19 in this game. Daniel Chen and Jake Riley scored the first 2 goals of the game before Harley Anderson, from a sharp angle, cut it in half on the power play about 2 minutes ago. Jake Riley with the puck behind the net. Teams back to full strength as they enter the ice. Brisbane will carry this out. McTaggart was looking for the puck, and he almost had it streaking in off the wing, but he had to get back on side. And we have a penalty, I think, behind the play. It's a hooking call. And Adelaide is going to go back to the penalty kill. I didn't see where that was. I think Jake Riley is being walked off, and yeah, Adelaide, right? That's what the call was right there. So Brisbane, who have already scored once on the power play, go to their 3rd power play again. And in the penalty box, there's a man with an anti-16, anti-mustache sign getting in the face of Riley. Huge man advantage for Brisbane to end this penalty. They've been outplayed for the most part this period, but can draw level, and that'd be a big win. Adelaide can't clear the zone. Softchuck in tight, dished over, intercepted from Andrew Chen, who plays it off the near boards. Hazel taking a swing at it, trying to chip it out. Spillane falls on top of it. He's the coach of the team. Maley hounding away at it, tries to wedge the puck out, and it finally clears the zone. You can feel the magnitude of this penalty kill for Adelaide. Here's a shot, big rebound in front. McTaggart had the shot on goal. Player dumped in front. Softchuck looking for the call. Now Spillane chasing after McDougall, and Spillane is going to take a penalty, and now he's cross-checked McDougall twice to the face, and McDougall's not retaliating. Joey McDougall laid a hard hit on Owen Softchuck in front of the net, and the head coach, Ben Spillane, responded with a shot that he got a penalty on, and then gave a cross-check to Joey McDougall twice. That will end the power play, but I don't know how this will be officiated. There's the play. A hard-nosed hockey play in front of the net, and Spillane, not a happy guy. The retaliation penalty came right after that moment, and then a couple cross-checks to Joey McDougall. So we'll go to 4-on-4 once again. So it's 4 minutes on the board. The head coach, Ben Spillane, gets 2 minutes for roughing and 2 minutes for slashing. So Adelaide will be 4-on-4 with Brisbane for the next minute and 19 seconds, and then it'll be a power play for 2 minutes and 41 seconds or less. So Brisbane were on the verge of tying the game, and now we're back to relatively even strength. But, well, if you didn't think this game was going to be physical, you can think again. Off the draw, Derry Adler working up against the boards with Johan Levesque. Played off to the left side, Connor. Off to Adler once again. About a minute to go before Adelaide will be on the power play, but there's only 90 seconds left in the period. Puck pops off to Sack. Tip down front, rebound in the slot. Adelaide jams away at it. Daniel Chen was there, but he couldn't bring it down, and now Brisbane will come out 2-on-1. McTaggart got Anderson with him, cuts to the net. Backhanded play. Oh, he had a puck on the string, but Friedrich shut it down. He is electric. And look at him weave between two Adelaide defenders. The stick of Woodman crossed up Tom Sack and had Chen back-checking. Jordan McTaggart, my goodness. Big face-off comes. Shots on goal now 21-12. Adelaide had a 2-0 lead in this game. Adelaide will break out 2-on-2. Steve Best throws one on net. Big rebound from Nova Sedlak. That'll be gobbled up by his defender and carried out by Connor, who will find a man on the right side. It's McTaggart with a little bit of space on the right wing. Adelaide tries to lay ahead into him, and McDougall tried to check him off the side. Sack wraps it around the boards and just clears the zone. Softchuck will hold the line at the center mark. 15 seconds to go on 4-on-4 action, and then Adelaide will end the period on the power play for 30 seconds. Softchuck tips it off to the right side. Penalty coming to an end in just 6 seconds, and it's played back, and Brisbane quite content to have possession while that penalty expires. Adelaide on the power play for 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Tipped off in the wing. Here's Joey McDougall. He'll try to skate this back behind his net. 24 seconds to go in the period. One last chance on the power play. Adelaide with 22 shots. Jake Riley getting the Boo-Birds as he enters the zone and cuts towards the ice. Fires and scores! It's a power play goal. It's Jake Riley's second of the period. And importantly, it's before the first penalty expired. And with the chorus of boos coming down on Jake Riley, he cut to the middle of the ice, used the screen, and Adelaide have a 3-1 lead. So the first penalty will come to an end, and Adelaide will have a full 2 minutes once again. 23 shots to 12 in the first period for Adelaide. They have a 3-1 lead, and they're going to look for more as it comes to an end. But crucially, Ben Spillane takes a double minor, one for roughing and one for slashing, and Adelaide made them pay. Fans came to this game with anti-16, a 16 with a cross in the middle of it, signed for Jake Riley, and he scored 2 goals to start the period. And Adelaide have a 3-1 lead. We'll be back in about 10-12 minutes. We do have an intermission show. We did talk to some players around the PHL. We will be back with the second period. Enjoy the intermission.
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way.
The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies.
But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
All right, it's the intermission, and I'm joined by a player that you were just watching on the ice. It's Harley Anderson, the captain of Queensland's team in the PHL, the Brisbane Rampage. Harley, thanks for joining us. Let's jump right into it. Harley, obviously big game. Like, look at the images of this game and what you're skating in right now. Like, it is a packed house in Queensland for the prelim. What has this game meant in the week leading up to it to the fans in Brisbane?
Yeah, look, it's definitely, the biggest game that's ever been played in Queensland from my memory. And it gives, the fans and the community a chance to sort of rally around the boys and, look to bring the inaugural season championship back to Brisbane. I think this year we've had a really good attendance. So I know that for this week, leading up to the finals here, the boys are pumped and, we're looking forward to playing in front of a packed barn.
I mean, it's no secret, man, that you played for Adelaide, you played in the NHSL, you played with a lot of these boys that you're going against today. They're your friends and former teammates, but one thing that was always clear when you were playing for Adelaide, that if Queensland ever got a team, you were going to be playing for them, and there you are, you're the captain for it. So what has this opportunity just meant for you personally to not only be on the Queensland team, but lead it?
Yeah, look, it's been massive for me. It's a great opportunity, and obviously, having a great team around you really helps as well. Not having to travel every weekend for games, being able to play home games in front of family and friends regularly, it's a great opportunity, and it's definitely a good feeling to be able to lead the team and be heading to the finals for the inaugural season.
How did you assemble this team? Because in Adelaide, you have one rink, so everybody in the hockey community kind of knows each other. And same with the Ducks, right? Like, they're all at Ice HQ. They're part of that community. Queensland, you have people in Gold Coast, at Boondall, at Acacia Ridge. It's a bit all over the place. So how do you, one, assemble this team, and two, get everybody on the same page?
Yeah, look, it was it did take a little bit of work. Obviously the coach Ben Spillane, myself, Anthony Barnes, a few of the sort of core guys that are locals there. Made some phone calls, tried rallied up a few guys out of retirement, and that's where we got the likes of Marco Batosa, Johnny Bale, Jack Connor, Derry Adler. That's those guys. They're all sort of probably weren't around as much, but we were able to rally them up, and obviously it's worked out really good for us between training at the different rinks, and we all show up for games and carpool up, so it's really created a pretty tight-knit group, which is good.
What has happened, man? Because this has been a roller coaster. You guys storm out of the gates, you're like 6-7 and 2 or whatever it was. Then you lose 7 straight, and all of a sudden, you're 1 loss away from tumbling to the bottom of the standings. But then you win 4 straight, no problem, and now you're hosting the prelim when it's been a roller coaster season. What was the turnaround that's got you firing heading into the finals?
Yeah, look, it was we had a few injuries, we had a few guys overseas or out, so. We sort of went through a slump there, and we got to the stage where we knew we had to win. It was do or die, and the boys definitely we stepped it up a gear. We rallied around each other and managed to get the job done. So we had the addition of Ben Spillane out there on the ice, and we haven't lost a game without him. So. You could say that a few guys stepping up and playing a role that probably wasn't going to be their role right from the start of the season has definitely rallied the guys, and we're definitely looking good rolling into the weekend.
What can you tell me about these 2 imports? We know what they do on the ice, but what are they like off the ice in terms of tags and Softchuck?
Yeah, Tags and Sobby, they're just they're like little kids, you know. They're basically like an old married couple. They niggle at each other and they you know, they complain to each other, but no, they're two really great guys. They bring a lot to the locker room. They push guys, they help guys. They're always on call to to step up when it's needed, both on and off the ice. And they give a lot of valuable input into the room. So it's they've been a massive addition for us.
So how's the team been feeling leading into the game? Actually, let's step back a bit, because I feel like sometimes a slump can be galvanizing for a group, and obviously that's kind of what's happened in Brisbane, is you had to reevaluate a couple things and get to where you want to be now.
Yeah. Look, we when we were going through that slump, we did reevaluate and sort of go, what do we want to do this season? And the answer around the room was we want to win. So that's when we picked it up, and we had guys step up and start playing a role that led to us winning games. So it was. And I think that's definitely carrying into this weekend. We're all buzzing. The group's definitely tighter than we've ever been, and we're looking to really make a statement on Saturday in Brisbane.
All right, on the weekend, we know what Jake Riley can do. We know what Nat Benson can do. We know what those main guys on Adelaide. You've all played with them and against them. Who's the player on Adelaide that you're telling the boys, you know what, be mindful of this guy? May not show up on the stat sheet, but I'm a bit wary of them on the ice in Adelaide?
I mean, for me, there's one guy on the ice that's the biggest impact to them. That's Jamie Woodman. He's a very, very talented player, defenseman, and he's a guy that we've got to try and get in his face. We've got to try and play maybe a little bit more physical with him, just to even just tire him out a little bit more. It's I think for us, if we can sort of slow him down, he creates so much offense for Jake Riley and Darren Corstens and Jan Levesque with those stretch passes. That if we can get on him, I think that'll hopefully help us on the weekend.
Yeah, it's sort of a battle between the #1 point producer in Softchuck and the #1 point stopper in Jamie Woodman on the ice. So what will break? We're in the middle of the game right now, and let's get back to it. Harley Anderson, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck out there on the ice this period. Chips it off the boards. He's been playing defense for this Avalanche squad so far. Johan Levesque, left wing, walks in, fires a shot, scores! Joey Quebec down tonight, huge hit! Darren Corstens up the middle, yes, nice move, Corstens scores! What a goal! Finds Riley down low, inside, Riley scores! There it is! Big rebound down low, Friedrich, what a save! Get in front, tipped it behind, it goes on top of that, walk down, Adelaide scores! Adelaide scores! Great job there by Robinson. Just to keep it out of it. Softchuck twisting, turning into the slot. Score! Speck, Softchuck, in tight, great goal. Owen Softchuck
alone. Oh my gosh, what a pass. What a pass.
Fakes a shot. Goes around, wrap around and scores.
Loose, this Stringer save. What a close save, Nick Jones. It might be old. AIHL standards now Kulishov in behind the defense again. Cuts in, and he scores.
Kiss backpedaling beautifully. What a shot by Kiss.
Holy moly, what a goalie! He's still with it, shot scores! Oh, hail Kale Costa! Versus Robertson trying to hit Sayers, but Sayers reverse hit. First one into the Dawes, and he intercepts it. Here's Dawes in the slot for Webster, back to Dawes, shot! Scores! What a play! Shot deflected, shot scored! Hayden Dawes does it again! Save! What a save! Tommy Forrest! Holy smokes! No shot, deflect scores! There you go! He does it! Liam Webster fresh out of the box, drops it for Ruddle. Ruddle shot scores! Ryan Ruddle!
series of the Brisbane Rampage. It's the Pacific Hockey League preliminary final. The winner heads to Melbourne for a Thursday to Sunday series to decide the inaugural Walker Cup of the Pacific Hockey League. Adelaide will enter the ice, I'm sure, to a chorus of boos, but they'll be embracing that. This place was bumping from puck drop. Bumping. Drums going, chants singing, signs with Jake Riley's number crossed out, but Daniel Chen scored the first goal of the game at the 13:24 mark on a pass from Nathaniel Benson to make it 1-0. 4 minutes later, Jake Riley had his first of 2 goals. Noah Maley kicked the puck to him in the slot, and Adelaide made it 2-0. Then, with 4:51 to go, with Brisbane on the power play, Harley Anderson had a seemingly innocent shot fired from the goal line that seeped its way through Jeremy Friedrich, who made 11 saves of the 12 shots he faced in the first period, made it 2-1. But Jake Riley then scored a goal with 9.9 seconds to go on the power play to put Adelaide back up 3-1. They've outshot Brisbane 23-12. It was a pivotal moment because Adelaide were controlling most of the play in the first period, although Brisbane certainly had their big moments. Softchuck and McTaggart looking electric. But Joey McDougall tied up Owen Softchuck in front of the net. And head coach and player Ben Spillane took exception to that. He took a roughing call on Joey McDougall and then a slashing call on Joey McDougall. It became a 2-minute minor, negated the power play, and then Riley scored while the first penalty was still ticking over, so Adelaide will open this period on the power play. My name's Eric Ballner. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you're watching, especially to those in Adelaide at the Lockleys Hotel. About 50 people, I'm told, are absolutely making some noise at that barn. So wherever you're watching around the world, around the country, thanks for joining us for the preliminary final. Winner goes to Melbourne to play in the best of 3 series versus the Ducks. Game 1 would be on Thursday, 2 on Saturday, and 3 if necessary on Sunday. And off the back, shorthanded, Softchuck in all alone. Jeremy Friedrich with a huge pad save. That is the kid's biggest save to date. Jake Riley, 2 goals already, fires one across, trying to go low glove side. That's knocked away. McTaggart absorbs a hit and flicks it back to himself behind the goal. McTaggart on the left, centering play, Softchuck back to Connor. This is good from Brisbane. Played up on the left side. Adelaide back in their own end. This is their 3rd power play of the day. They're 1 for 2 so far. Chen, he's got 1 goal. Back to the point for Woodman through traffic. Takes a weird bounce off the boards, and it's to Nate Benson. Back to Riley. Benson couldn't handle the return pass. Connor tips it forward, and Johan Levesque gets there first for Adelaide. Levesque to the point for Woodman. It was a firm pass. He had to deflect it to himself. Walking the line. He had Softchuck all over him, and he almost created a turnover again. Riley trying to keep that puck alive. Softchuck swatted forward. Adelaide with the puck in the slot with Chen. Chen walks in, tries to go upstairs. It rifled off the side of the net. Penalty is still 25 seconds to go. Centering play in the slot off Daniel Chen's stick. And finally, McTaggart will play this out. Softchuck losing a little bit of gas. He'll go for a change. Owen Softchuck, a great chance early in this period. Breakaway, shorthanded, Friedrich with the save. And Joey McDougall fires one on Nick Novosedlak. Shots on goal are now currently 25 to 14 in favor of the Avalanche, and that was Jeremy Friedrich's biggest save. Fresh off a shutout that got Team Australia the bronze medal at the Under-20 Championships last week. Landed in Australia on Thursday. Was at Avalanche training Thursday night and on the plane on Friday. Best with a whistling shot goes off the side of Novosedlak. McDougall cycles it down low. Penalty comes to an end. Both teams now 1 for 3 with the man advantage. Steve Best digging it with the corner. It's Noah Maley on the puck. Maley tries to chip it forward. Maley back down low. Maley back in the lineup, already the point tonight. Long shot from the point, tipped down in front. McDougall chips it forward. Best trying to get hold of it. Maley all the way across the ice. And that gets chipped back down low for Steve Best. Best walks his way up to the half wall. Cycles it back for Maley. Maley to the right point, back down low. Maley with the return pass goes over his stick and in behind the boards. He takes a hit. Steve Best gets bumped off by Harley Anderson, his former teammate. Now Best inside scores! Stevie Best gives the silent treatment to the crowd behind the net, and it's a 4-1 Adelaide lead. And that play set up in large part to the great forecheck by that guy, Noah Maley. He dug out the puck, found Steve Best, and Maley has 2 assists. Steve Best breaks a lengthy point streak, and he scores a huge goal in a playoff game to put Adelaide up 4-1, and you see the dagger he gave to the behind-the-net crew. The silent treatment, and Adelaide has a 4-1 lead. This game means a lot to Steve Best. He's been part of Adelaide's ice hockey program in the AIHL and now the PHL for about a dozen years. He's now one of the leaders on the team. He's got an assistant captain letter on his chest. He was part of that Adelaide team that went 0-28. And the first year out of COVID, Adelaide now in a prelim final with a chance to go to the grand final. And Steve Best said last night was a weird feeling for him. He felt like it was Christmas Day. He had trouble sleeping. It was like nervous anticipation. He just hasn't played in a big game like this representing his city since he can really remember. And now he's got a goal in it. Boy, Brisbane need the next goal now. Derry Adler working against Jordan Freeman. Julian Friedrich chips it out to Steele. Loose puck in front and goes behind the goal, and Jack Connor will play it off to the left side. Adelaide tries to hold the line, but it's Anthony Santilli, and a player gets checked down hard. Brisbane still ramping that physicality up. That's what they do, and they do it well. One of the biggest teams in the league, but McTaggart, big goal scorer, centering play. Adelaide breaks it up in front of the net, and they'll take it away, and it is chipped up to the left side. Jack Connor plays it forward, and it's intercepted in the neutral zone. Jamie Woodman with the interception. Joey McDougall was a little bit offside. So Steve Best with the lone goal, and you can take a look at the physicality. McTaggart, a big check into the boards right in front of Beth Beauchamp. She's off to some world championships too. One of the best referees and lines people in the game, Beth Beauchamp. She got flown in for this game. The whole officiating crew has done a great job in the PHL this year. A great post was put up on that page, breaking down some of the stats, the numbers, profiling who the officials are. They've been great this year. Harley Anderson, down tight, centering play in front. That gets broken up by Jake Hazel. Just 19 years old, Jake Hazel. Up to the right side. Daniel Chen gets bolted down into the boards. Anthony Barnes gave a huge hit. Adelaide on the forecheck. Chen back up on his feet, absorbs another hit, knocked down to the ice, and it's finally Johnny Bale that will pick this up and play it around the boards, and it goes all the way down. It'll be a foot race for it. Adelaide should get there easily. It goes for icing. Andrew Chen touched that up first. Here's a look at Daniel Chen. I know Daniel Chen and Noah Maley. They just got back from the under-20 championships. A lot of South Australia fans know what Chen and Maley can do. And I know quite a few fans were hoping that they'd be a bit more used and deployed in those under-20 championships. And Noah Maley has 2 assists, and Daniel Chen has a goal in a big game. These are big game players. They do it in the local leagues too. Think back to the Jokers, scoring big goals in their playoff run. They're just sort of playoff caliber players. Hard, tough, physical. They're small but nimble. Which big game player will step up for Brisbane? Jordan Smith off the turnover, loose puck in front, down low, and Jeremy Friedrich keeps it aside. How did that stay out of the net? Jeremy Friedrich might have just made his second 10-bar save in this period. Stefan Speck, backhanded play, goes into the corner. And Friedrich will freeze this up. Let's see how this puck stayed out of the net. He opened the period with that breakaway save, and Barnes all alone, and Friedrich, oh my goodness! Jeremy Friedrich has made 2 unbelievable saves. This is a 4-3 hockey game disguised in a 4-1 Adelaide lead because of that man right there, Jeremy Friedrich. Brisbane have had their chances. Adelaide off the faceoff, try to explode up the wing. Jack Connor will get there first. Connor skates it off the backside in behind the goal. Plays it around the board. Spillane tips it forward. Adelaide centering play in front of the net. Goes off Adler's stick, and he'll try to backhand this out, but Sack gets there first. Sack to Stevie Best. Sack off the board. Stefan Speck slashes this one out, and it wobbles all the way back in behind the goal line. Well, Andrew Chen will get there first. Andrew Chen, just 22 years old, I believe. Another rising star in the Adelaide ranks. Adler, block shot, and Adelaide was almost away, but Jack Connor. This is the burly bar owner, line in a huge hit, laid down by Jordan Freeman on Stefan Speck. I think someone's getting a penalty for it, but my goodness, that was big. This might be it right here. Off the puck. And it was Speck that tried to hit Freeman, and Freeman just held his ground. My goodness. Don't try to run over Jordan Freeman. Huge presence in the lineup. Now Chen in behind the defense. Sharp angle shot, whistled a little bit wide. Back off the near boards. Kept in by Nathaniel Benson. He tried to chip it down low. It takes a bounce off Bertosa's skate. It'll be touched up, and we have a slashing call going against Adelaide, I believe. No, it's against Johnny Bale. So Adelaide, with a 4-1 lead already, will head to the power play for the 4th time today. This period really headlined by 2 incredible Jeremy Friedrich saves. The Stevie Best goal, of course. And now Adelaide. 4-1 is still a very reachable score for Brisbane, but if Adelaide score here, it'll be the first time we've seen distance between the teams. And now a penalty is coming again to Brisbane. Adelaide is going to have a 5-on-3 advantage. Sack, down low, plays it around the boards. Adelaide needs to get a shot on net. They have the extra attacker on right now with the goalie out of his net. In the slot, Adelaide tries to touch it up. Back to the point, Riley tried to finish it off. Adelaide with a 2-man advantage for the time being. Sack whips it across. Best in front of the net. That tips up and it's touched up by Riley. Riley turning, swiveling, firing up in the meshing and back down low. It's touched up by Brisbane. So in the minute 27, Adelaide will go to a 5-on-3 advantage. Now, if you recall, early in the season, Adelaide had a 3-2 lead versus Brisbane with 9 minutes to go in the game, and they had a 5-on-3 advantage for the full 2 minutes. They did not score. Brisbane seized all of the momentum and then promptly scored 3 goals in a row to bury the Adelaide Avalanche in one of the most epic games of the season and win that contest. So while a 5-on-3 advantage is promising and exciting for Adelaide fans, if Brisbane can kill this off, you talk about a momentum turner. Huge moment in the ice hockey game here, and it's only set up because Jeremy Friedrich made 2 big saves. So Softchuck in the box, their best penalty killer too. Riley chipped to Chen, back to Riley. Riley looking for a lane, across to Benson, back to Riley. One-timer, he fanned on the shot. Riley back at the right point. Tipped off to Chen, in the slot to Levesque. Levesque turns, dishes it off to Riley. Woodman to Riley again. Riley looking for an angle, walks in the slot, put it up high and it went wide. Benson off the backboards, scoops up the puck. Benson back to Woodman. Woodman finds Benson. Benson across to Riley. One-timer shot blocked in front. And that was a crucial shot block from Derry Adler. Well, if you watch the Adelaide streams and you tune in and you hear people like Stu Henley and Tash Ferrier on the broadcast, they often talk about Jake Riley being deployed on the power play going downhill. And that's exactly what they tried to do there. Jake Riley starting at the blue line, using that momentum forward and trying to dish off the shot. Draw one by Adelaide. Riley off at the right point. Deposits it to Woodman. Back to Riley. Riley looking for some sort of seam. Dish down low to Chen. Chen, loose puck in the slot. Rebound was there. Chen scoops it to Riley. Riley loads, fires. Novosedlak bobbling for the puck, scores! Johan Levesque tips it in. And Adelaide have a 5. No, it's called off. The referee has waved it off. What? Levesque can't believe it. Adelaide was celebrating in the corner. And the refs are calling off the goal. I'm not sure if it's interference or it just didn't go in. This will tell us what we need to know. Off the rebound. Wow, that's close. Referee saying it didn't cross the goal line. And that looks like it might have been a save. It's tough to tell. no goal called by the referees. So Adelaide, for a brief moment, were up 4 goals, but it swung back the other way. Lots of positive opportunities. But I don't think that one was in based on the replay. That might have been the best save that Nick Novosedlak had all day, and we thought it was a goal. McDougall across the ice. Best to McDougall in the slot. The one-timer goes wide. Maley digs it out of the corner. Back to McDougall. Time ticking away on the 5-on-3. That's blocked in front of the net by Bertosa. Back across to Sack. He's got a cannon. Sack tips it down low. The first penalty comes to an end. So they've killed off the 5-on-3 and now a 5-on-4 for the next 30 seconds. Adelaide onto the right side to Steve Best. He's got 1 this period. Tom Sack at the point. Right side for Woodman. Back to Sack. Whips across to Best. He couldn't handle the pass. He has to curl back around with a player draped on him. Best to the point to Sack. Finds Woodman going downhill. Tipped in front. Dedicated pass. Adelaide, great save. Novosedlak. Nick Novosedlak has just made a couple huge saves. He caught it with his blocker hand. And Nick Novosedlak on a great save right here. And here it comes. Wow. Blocker save on the side of the hand. He took one off the goal line earlier. In Adelaide, a very good 5-on-3. Probably should have scored a goal, but Nick Novosedlak has made a couple big saves. And Brisbane are 7 seconds away in a series of goalkeeper saves from turning the momentum in this game. Shots on goal now 33-16. Back at the point. Hazel through traffic. That's blocked. Hazel gets it off again. In front. Rebound there. Adelaide fires it up front, and Novosedlak had the toe save again. And now out of the box, Softchuck was almost away. Connor plays it forward, and here comes Softchuck. If they can score here, it changes everything. Softchuck tried to dangle through traffic. Loose puck in front. Fires up through, and Friedrich makes the save. Desperation now being turned up for the home side. Across, fires one through, goes wide. Crowd can feel something coming. Brisbane just killed off a 5-on-3. Levesque tried to chip it forward. Second effort from Maley, and it's in the attacking zone before Levesque is thrown into the boards, and he gets an applause from the crowd. Here's Jake Riley, man all over him. Maley digs it out, off down in the corner, centering play in a dangerous area. Novosedlak tips it away. Both goalies making huge saves in this period. Connor out towards the point. That's kept in, and now a man could be away. It was almost Softchuck almost off on the rush. Adler will skate this in down low as Brisbane goes for the change, and Adelaide will collect. Shots on goal this period. Adelaide 11, Brisbane 5. 34-17 in the game. Steve Best has the goal to make it 4-1 in the early stages of this period. Stefan Speck, left side, out wide. Fires one in front of Jeremy Friedrich, made another great save. Freddie is putting on a show. Novosedlak pokes this one free, it goes in the corner. Chen on the wraparound, big save Novosedlak. Goaltenders stand up. End-to-end action. Next goal, critical for Brisbane. And Jeremy Friedrich has denied him a couple times this period. Here comes Chen. Here is McDougall all alone. Scores! It's a captain's goal. And Joey McDougall has made it a 5-1 game. And I think the assist is going to come to Daniel Chen, his second point of the game. It will. And this place got very quiet. They killed off a 5-on-3. Novosedlak has played brilliantly. But now Steve Best and Joey McDougall, you could argue two of the biggest leaders in the ice hockey community in Adelaide, have scored to put the Avalanche up. Not without a setup from Jeremy Friedrich in between his pipes. And now what response do the Rampage have? Beauchamp will drop the puck. Cedro taking the draw for Brisbane. Looking for a bit of a shift from the energy line. Adelaide tips it forward from the young Julian Friedrich. Friedrich, sharp angle shot, big rebound, pops down. Connor plays it down behind the goal. Jack Connor skates it out. Friedrich all over him, and they've created a turnover. Sack trying to hold the line. Tip forward by Jordan Freeman. Freeman now working against Derry Adler behind the goal, but Adler will win it away. Puck way up high, knocked down by Stefan Speck. Tries to clear the zone, but not out. Kept in by Hazel. Hazel pinches down low, looks for a centering play. He was angled off by Derry Adler. Cedro up on the left side. Adelaide tries to play it forward. Ben Spillane intercepts. This goes the other direction. Well, the kids got it done for Adelaide in the first period. Chen with the goal, Jake Riley with 2. But it's the veterans, Steve Best and Joey McDougall, that have the goals for Adelaide in the second. And Jeremy Friedrich with a few sensational saves, 3 by my count. Only 5 shots from Brisbane this period, but they've all been A-grade opportunities. That's the big game goalie that Adelaide wanted when they had Jeremy Friedrich in mind for this team. Up the right side. Stiff arm from Zach Steele, carried into the attacking zone. Steele cuts off a man, allows Levesque rather, to chuck it in front of the net. McTaggart plays it wide. It could be a break again. That's how this period started. A breakaway, almost off the face-off from Owen Softchuck. It was 3-1 at the time. Had that gone in, it would be 3-2 Brisbane, or 3-2 Adelaide, maybe a different story. Instead, it's now 5-1 for Adelaide. Adelaide plays this around the boards. Plays it up high. John Bale on the right side. Adelaide plays it forward. John Bale tips it up into the middle line. Santilli plays it forward, glove down from that right trapper of Jeremy Friedrich. Woodman just trying to settle the pace of play. Up the guts of the ice to Johan Levesque. Left wing Chen. Chen leads Levesque ahead. That tipped wide. Noah Maley battling in the corner versus McTaggart. Maley comes away with it. Chen couldn't handle the pass, and now Owen Softchuck busts off the ice. Softchuck looking for space out wide. That quickly gets closed off, but he does find Santilli on the right side. That one goes wide and played all the way down, and now Adelaide on a change all the way behind the goal. It's McDougall working against Nova Sedlak, and Nova Sedlak got there first. Adelaide's got to wait to enter the zone. Jack Connor settles it down. Brisbane need that next goal. McDougall creates a turnover in the slot. Big save. Nova Sedlak rebound, scores! Daniel Chen, his second of the game. And Adelaide are truly in control now. Joey McDougall created the turnover. It was the shot from Benson. And Daniel Chen has 2 goals and an assist tonight. Joey McDougall has a goal and an assist, and Benson with a pair of assists too. It's 6-1. Adelaide now in full throttle control. And it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Benson tried to dangle. He got dropped back to the point. Weird bounce off the boards. McDougall gets stopped once, loose puck in front, and Benson almost jammed it home. Goals to Best, McDougall, and Chen second. Adelaide in command. Back behind the goal. Chip forward. Adelaide trying to skate this puck down. Derry Adler will get there first. Adelaide cuts it off. Wins the foot race. It's another turnover. Best settles it down. He was looking for Daniel Chen. Sack finds Chen down low. Pass too hot for him. Bounces all the way back to the left point. And now McTaggart, if there's a time for him to score a goal, it's got to be now. Barnes leads a man ahead. No one was home. Adelaide trying to chip it forward. They've got a man on the wing if they want him. Woodman will just carry it into the zone. He'll cut all the way to the net. Woodman dropped in the slot. Sack fires it. Big save, Nova Sedlak. Nova Sedlak's made 4 or 5 huge saves this period. Friedrich's made 3 or 4 too. But Adelaide have now broken free. And I'm sure people at the Lockleys Hotel right now are already looking for tickets online. But there's a long way to go. It's a 5-goal advantage. Loose puck free again. Nova Sedlak makes the save. Adelaide has now thrown 38 shots on net, and there's still 5 minutes to go in the second. In every respect of the word, this is total and complete domination. There are 2 results that will come from this point. Either one, a dominating Adelaide victory, or 2, a Brisbane comeback of epic proportions that we would talk about for a long time. They have the ammunition to do it. Can they deploy it well? McTaggart and Softchuck, dangerous on the score sheet, have been held pointless in this game so far. Best cycles it down low, back to the point. Softchuck intercepts, out for the right wing to McTaggart. Softchuck's been robbed point blank a couple of times. You figure they're getting double shifted the rest of the way. Back behind the goal. Chipped around the boards. Bouncing puck. Woodman gets there before Softchuck, but it's turned over at the center line. Here's a chance for McTaggart. Across, fires one through. Speck had a shot go down low. Wraparound play, out in the slot, settled down by Softchuck. Tip to Jack Connor at the point. Shot through traffic. Friedrich tracked that well, and it got kicked out to the right side. McTaggart chips it down low, and Adelaide will chip this one out. Friedrich stopped 18 of 19 pucks. That's gone his way. Adelaide's thrown 38 at the face of Nova Sedlak, and here could be another one. Sack tried to play it forward before he gets buried by John Bale. Woodman intercepts Softchuck as he was racing forward. That man, Jamie Woodman, stats so different. Said it at the top of the broadcast. When he's in the lineup, Adelaide concedes 39 shots per game and allows 4.5 goals per game. When he's in the lineup, Adelaide concedes 26 shots per game and concedes just 2.6 goals per game. Jamie Woodman literally accounts for 2 goals for Adelaide from the defensive side. Carries the puck well, shuts down Stars. Owen Softchuck, 52 points in 20 games in the season, but in the last 4 games versus Adelaide, he only has 4. That's 48-16 and 4-4 if you do the math that way, because it's going against Jamie Woodman in those 4 games. Riley drops it back, shot blocked, tipped out to the right side. Derry Adler will carry this one out. Sack intercepts, centering play. Levesque tied up. Cedro got tied up as well. Here is Jake Riley. He's got 2 goals, scored that goal with 9 seconds to go in the first period to make it 3-1. Adelaide plays it back behind the goal. This sold-out Brisbane crowd is stunned. Still lots of time. Now Adelaide almost just needs to play good road hockey. Play well in front of Friedrich. They don't need to score many goals. They just got to take away opportunities. But there is a line. You can't be too defensive. Adelaide dropping a man back as Chen cuts him off. That goes for Icy. Now you talk a lot about Jamie Woodman, guys like Woodman and Michael McMahon on the Ducks. Great examples for young Australian hockey players who don't need to put up ridiculous amount of points. Now Woodman's almost a point-a-game player, I get that. But by playing a smart positional hockey player, a calming presence, focusing on your job, and utilizing your teammates well, great skating helps. You can be a great player. Jamie Woodman is in every respect of the word Adelaide's superstar. Zach Steele getting some time with Woodman. He's played forward and defense this year. Daniel Chen, 18 years old, 2 goals in a preliminary final. He was 8 years old last time Adelaide was even in this position. Turnover at the point. McDougall fakes the shot, cuts to the slot. McDougall swipes one in front of goal. It goes off the backboard to Benson. He's got a couple points tonight. All 3 lines for Adelaide have scored this evening. Chen tried to find Benson, bunched off his stick. McDougall lurking in front of the net, and Brisbane will clear, and this puck will dribble out towards the center line. Shots on goal this period, 16-7 in favor of the Avalanche. Adelaide's also scored all 3 goals in the period to extend their lead to 6-1. Left side, Jordan Smith, Anderson in tight. Friedrich blocks it again. Anderson was then shuffled to the corner. Adelaide on the counterattack. Steele fires a shot on goal. That one got blocked, and Anthony Barnes will bank it off the boards, and Adelaide plays it forward to Steve Best. He scored the first goal of the second period. Wisely just plays it in behind the goal. He's looking for Andrew Chen, who's chipping in from the point. Absorbs some contact. There in support is Tom Sack, but it's taken away from Softchuck, who plays it off the boards, and here's an opportunity. Barnes has Softchuck with him. Barnes fires one, and that goes high and out of play. This period started with a breakaway for Owen Softchuck. Jeremy Friedrich robbed him point blank. Anthony Barnes had a great chance in tight on Friedrich later. At one point, it was almost a level hockey game disguised because Friedrich made big saves, and then Adelaide poured on the pressure. Best, McDougall, and Chen, his second of the game, have scored to make it 6-1. Nova Sedlak has made some outrageous saves too. Adelaide trying to chip it forward. Jake Hazel, boy, hasn't he played well this game. He gets hit. Brisbane looking for a momentum-changing moment to head into the second break. Speck fires one on goal. Rebound in behind the net. Adelaide clears it to the left point. Kept in by Brisbane. Played high and out of play. 38 seconds to go in what has been a dominating second period from Adelaide. Adelaide with more reinforcements on the way. Ben Handberg, Darren Korstens, and Jared Siemens. Siemens, the assistant captain. Korstens was the acting captain, and he's over a point-a-game player out of the lineup. Handberg, a handy player too. All three of them not playing in this preliminary final. Adelaide not even at full strength. And they're up 6-1 in the biggest hockey game this state has seen in a decade. Played around the right boards. Centering play in front of the net. Adelaide trying to chip this out. Softchuck grabs it behind the net. He gets dumped behind the goal. He's looking for a call, not going to get it. Seconds peeling off the clock. Brisbane just got to get something in on net. Loose puck, there's the opportunity. It went off a skate and wide. And a very convincing second period comes to an end. Adelaide dominating the scoreboard, dominating the shots. They're winning the goalie battle. They've been the more disciplined team. It's made it a very quiet crowd here in Brisbane that are left stunned, and they'll be left praying for a minor miracle in the third period. The Avalanche lead the Rampage in the preliminary final, 6-1. We'll head to the second intermission. We'll hear from Johan Levesque, and you can join us for the conclusion.
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies.
But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Intermission show of the preliminary final. Eric Balnar in a different format, joined by Johan Levesque, a.k.a. Joey Quebec, the leading goal man with the Adelaide Avalanche. Johan, what's going on?
Yeah, man, it's been good. Thanks for having me.
So, Johan, look, if you had told me a year ago that some guy named Joey Quebec would be in Adelaide and leading the national team in scoring goals during the season, I would have so many questions, including who is this guy? So how are you in Adelaide playing for this team right now for the fans at home?
For long story short, basically, I decided to come for the NHSL in Adelaide during last summer, and I just fell in love with the community. I had a lot of fun, and obviously it went really well. And all of a sudden, I just got asked to come back and play for the Adelaide Avalanche for the PHL, and it was probably the best decision I ever took.
But you were in Perth before all of that and kind of still, right? Like you're based in Perth?
Yes. So I still live in Perth. I'm still based in Perth, but I can definitely call Adelaide a second home now. I've been here for a while, and I definitely have a little bit of an attachment now for Adelaide.
Yeah, I mean, you still say you live in Perth, but like you lived in Adelaide during the NHSL, and now you're living in Adelaide for the PHL season. Why did you decide to make the move for this season to stay in Adelaide?
I just saw the opportunity to play for that new league that has so much to offer for players, and I saw the level of hockey with like recognizing a couple of names in certain teams, and I just got really excited. And on top of that, the fact that the people from the NHSL knew me already from the season that I had, and they were interested on signing me and making me play for their team. I just jumped on the occasion. I think it was a perfect opportunity for me to keep rising as a hockey player.
I love chatting to you because you're a passionate guy and you always encourage people to kind of chase their dreams. So we don't have time in this format to go into detail, and we could, but this hockey passion at this stage of your life is kind of being rediscovered only recently, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. So from my past life, basically my past job that I was having, I finished that massive part of my life, and then I just decided to go back to my first love, which was hockey growing up in Canada. And it's the best decision I ever took. It's like if I just regenerate a brand new passion once again. I discovered I have the flame again, and I just keep growing as a player. So even at 30 years old, I put no expectation on myself, and I just get surprised every single time. So for people that are still feel like they have the flame, the fire inside, whether you are 35 or whatever age that you are, take the risk, because I swear it pays off. If you put the energy into it, whatever the age that you are, it pays off. I promise.
And you've ended up in this Adelaide ice hockey community with all these different friends and people around there. What has the Adelaide ice hockey community meant to you on a personal level this season?
I mean, to be very honest with you, they've been so welcoming for me, and I never felt out of my place straight away from the first day that I arrived during the NHSL last summer. Everyone was taking care. Everyone was very interested on knowing me, on learning about me, and I was very open to learn about them, and being part of that community. They just welcomed me with open arms, and now I feel like I owe them something. You know, I owe them good performance. I owe them every single win, every single time that I jump on the ice and I see the crowd in the stands. You know, we have the best fans in the whole league, selling out arena every single game. That talks to me a lot. You know, that fan base deserve a team that is performing, and I'm so happy that we've been able to do that this year.
Can you feel how important this preliminary final and this finals run potentially is for the Adelaide ice hockey community?
Absolutely. It's been a lot of talk. It's been, there's a lot of water that flown from 2012, when it's the last time that a high level caliber team actually made it to finals in Adelaide, and the group that we have now. And I feel like it was a long time coming, and people get excited. We're the talk of the city at the moment, and it's so much fun to be part of that. You know, it's a privilege to be able to represent a place like this that has so much of a strong community, and yeah, they deserve to have as much excitement as we have.
Why is this a special group and almost a brotherhood of players that you see on this Adelaide side?
I think one of the main thing is everyone understands his role really, really well. Everyone understands what they can bring to this team. It's an honest group of guys we're not the most flashy. We are not the most, there's no click in every of our any of our group. Basically, we are all together in this, and we did really decided to go to war together. Really decided to put our working boots together and follow the footstep of each other. So I feel like, and by the same time, you have a group of young guys that grow up together since they're very young, playing together, and that helps a lot to just gel everything together, basically.
Now, by the time people are watching this, we're probably needing a big goal, to be honest, in this preliminary final that people are watching. You've scored more goals than anybody on the Avalanche this year, and they all seem to be from, like, just good places, positional hockey, good firm shots. What is it about how have you been able to find the back of the net this season so easily, it feels like?
Well, first of all, I think it's a group effort. I've been very privileged to play with two very, very skilled and talented players, with Jake Riley and Darren Corsten. It makes my life way easier. And the other thing is, I feel like it's just try to, like you said very well, try to find the open space, tries to find the breach in the defense of the other team. Most of the time, you realize, you look at the new guys and new kids coming in, and yes, they're all skilled and they skate better than you, they're faster, but their hockey IQ is a little less predominant in a certain way. So I think my biggest strength is probably that hockey IQ thing, where I know where to position myself for a good rebound or a good tip, or being able to jump on that loose puck when it's time to do it. So but to be very honest with you, like I said at the beginning, playing with Darren and playing with Jake is a massive privilege, because those two guys make you look good. Definitely.
Well, one of the most exciting players in the league, Johan Levesque, the leading goal scorer with the Avalanche. That's all the time we have this intermission. The next period is coming up. Johan, you're sitting before the game now, but I guess I'll say good luck for the next period.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's going to be a war out there, so I'll take every luck we can.
Siemens chips it off the boards. He's been playing defense for this Avalanche squad so far. Johan Levesque, left wing, walks in, fires a shot, scores! Joey Quebec down in a huge hit. Oh, Darren Corson's up the middle. Yes, nice. Corson scores! What a goal! Finds Riley down low. Inside Riley scores! There it is! Big rebound down low. Friedrich, what a save! Get in front, tipped it behind. It goes on top of the net. Walk down. Adelaide scores! Adelaide scores!
Backhanded, but great job there by Robinson just to keep it out of it. Softchuck twisting, turning into the slot. Score!
Speck, Softchuck, in tight, great goal, Owen Softchuck!
Alone. Oh my gosh, what a pass. What a pass.
Fakes a shot, goes around, wrap around and scores.
Loose, this trigger save. What a close save, Nick Jones!
Hit by the old AIHL standards, now Coolish off in behind the defense again, cuts in, and he scores!
Freedrich Costa through the fireball! He's done it with 3.1 seconds!
Kiss backpedaling beautifully. What a shot, mate.
Holy moly, what a goalie! He's still with it, shot scores! Oh, hail Kale! Kale Costa versus Robertson trying to hit Sayers, but Sayers reverse hit. First one into the Ducks Dogs, and he intercepts it against Dogs in the slot for Webster, back to Dogs, shot! Scores! What a play! Shot deflected, shot scored! Hayden Dogs does it again! Save! What a save! Tommy Forrest! Holy smokes! No shot, deflect scores! There you go! He does it! Liam Webster fresh out of the box, drops it for Ruddle. Ruddle shot scores! Ryan Ruddle!
A dominant scoreline has left the crowd stunned in Brisbane. Adelaide up 6-1. They had a 3-1 lead after the first. Daniel Chen opened the scoring. Jake Riley consolidated. It was his first of 2 goals. Harley Anderson had a power play goal from an awkward angle to make it 2-1. But then Jake Riley with 9 seconds left on a game-altering penalty from Ben Spillane made it a 3-1 lead for the Avalanche. Jeremy Friedrich in that second period, yes, it will only show that he made 8 saves in the second period, but 4 of them were probably about as good as you can get. The first came on the opening faceoff. Owen Softchuck, while shorthanded, found himself, the PHL leading man, in all alone, and Jeremy Friedrich made the great save. That allowed Steve Best to score to make it 4-1. Then Adelaide had a 5-on-3 advantage, and it was Nick Novosedlak's time to steal the show. He made save after save, including one on the goal line, a great toe save on Daniel Chen, one that robbed Johan Levesque. He was celebrating the goal, but it didn't cross the line. Brisbane killed off a 5-3 advantage. It was only 4-1 at the time, and Jeremy Friedrich made a couple nice saves. It allowed Joey McDougall to come in alone in the slot and get one through the shoulder of Novosedlak to make it 5-1. 3 minutes later, McDougall, the captain, created a turnover. He found Nathaniel Benson in the slot, rebound caught free, and Daniel Chen put home his second goal of the game. Daniel Chen has 3 points. He leads the way for Adelaide. Jake Riley with 2 goals. McDougall with a goal and an assist. Benson with 2 assists. Noah Maley with 2 assists. Steve Best has a goal. All 3 lines have found the back of the net tonight. Adelaide out shooting Brisbane 40-21. It has been dominance from Adelaide pretty much from the get-go, although Jeremy Friedrich has had to stymie any sort of Brisbane attack when they have pushed hard. But the scoreboard tells a lot. Adelaide also being the more disciplined team of the 2. And now they are 20 minutes away from booking a ticket to the grand final. Adelaide in tight again. Long shot on the point. Novosedlak makes a big save and covers it up. Brisbane can still win this game, make no mistake, but they need to play their best period of the season. They are down by 5 goals. It starts with just 1. They have nothing to lose at this point, and sometimes that's when you play your best hockey. If Adelaide scored the first goal of this period, you feel like it might be left-right good night on Brisbane's season. And Joey McDougall finds a man in the slot, scores. There it is. McDougall finds Benson, and just 20 seconds into the period, Adelaide have expanded their lead to 6. I think Chen is going to get an assist on that too. And he might. I think they got tipped by Daniel Chen as it went behind the net. Benson and McDougall at least have their 3rd points. Referees having a chat, and Nick Novosedlak is being pulled. So Nick Novosedlak out of the game. That got chipped in the corner. And Novosedlak has the gate. He made 35 saves tonight. Luca Darcy will come into the game. His first game back since a concussion. He's played 4 games this year, 4.7 goals against average. He did stymie Adelaide, made 36 saves in a round 5 win on the road. And Adelaide up 7-1. And fans at the Lockleys Hotel might be already online on the Pacific Hockey League website. And now Brisbane responds. A huge response. Can that get something going? Anthony Barnes with the goal, and the crowd's on their feet. 2 goals in the first 30 seconds. And it's 7-2. So Adelaide fans, if you had those tickets in your shopping cart for the grand final in Melbourne next week, maybe hold off on payment just for a little bit longer. because everything's being neutralized again. If Brisbane can score the next goal, then we can start having a conversation. What a response. Jake Riley enters the zone, trying to use his screen, fires one on net, and that gets tipped away and into the corner. Puck played all the way out. Anthony Barnes has been one of the best players in the PHL in the second half of the season. 23 points in his last 10 games. He had 9 points in his first 10. How's that for a turnaround? He's got that heavy shot, and here it comes again. Softchuck down low on the backhand, powering in the net, and Woodman, like he's done all night, pokes it free. Softchuck on the backhand, corrals it to the point. Long shot through traffic, off the back, gloved down by McTaggart. Brisbane need to strike here. McTaggart plays it off to Softchuck. Softchuck dishes it off to Adler. Adler, big save, Friedrich. Rebound comes free. Softchuck inside, Friedrich shuts the door again. Jeremy Friedrich has had a huge game, and he neutralizes the Brisbane Stars again. Softchuck, 52 points in 20 games. 0 so far tonight. And he almost had one there, but Friedrich was good. Players tangled up behind the play as Adelaide takes it up the wing. Loose puck in front, goes in front of Darcy. Julian Friedrich will chip this down low. Grabbed once again by Jordan Freeman. Freeman looking for best. He's scored a goal in this game too. Brisbane will angle this out of the zone. Can they find one here and get themselves back in it? Here's the danger line. Great pass from Softchuck. Intercepted from Jake Hazel. Hazel broke up the play at the last second. Adelaide will have some time as Stefan Speck has to clear, but Owen Softchuck looking lethal to start this period. Brisbane will play a lot more open and free style, trying to force the play to mount what would be a 6-goal comeback now. It'd be one of the biggest comebacks in hockey history in any league if they were able to do so. They do have two of the most dangerous weapons in all of Australian ice hockey at their disposal. And Anthony Barnes is quickly turning into a nice third head to this monster that Brisbane could have. Whipped in, Chen on 2 goals. Potentially 4 points already tonight for Daniel Chen. Nathaniel Benson digs it forward, grabbed by McDougall. In tight centering play, Darcy makes the save, and that was one he had to make. Well, look, Brisbane are going to mount a comeback. It's going to start from Luca Darcy, but look at this goal from Anthony Barnes. Power forward, drive, cut, picture perfect, and gives the shove after. That is a power forwards goal and fun to watch. And Anthony Barnes has made a name for himself. Can that rally the team? Adelaide win the draw. Woodman, quick shot on net, that gets tipped down low. Daniel Chen trying to get this puck out in the corner. Adelaide pick up the puck on the right side. Carried out by Harley Anderson. Played forward and now behind the defense again. Barnes driving to the net and Friedrich had to shut the door again. Adelaide out shooting them 44-25, but Friedrich's made huge saves and now another turnover. Smith turns, fires, goes off Barnes' stick. McDougall chips it off the boards. Benson carries it out. He's got Daniel Chen with him, but he loses control of the puck. Here comes Owen Softchuck. What magic does he have left in him? Intercepted at the line. Puck rattles off the boards. Woodman tips it off to the left. Zach Steele finds Riley. Riley powering to the front of the net, tipped in front and poke check from Luca Darcy. Darcy's made a couple good saves now. Nova Sedlak stopped 35 of 42 pucks. The PHL saves leader. Hoping that somehow his team can come back. He's on the bench now. Levesque, stretch pass ahead, off the stick of Jake Riley. Riley, a big-time first period. Turnover in front, almost dangerous, but now it's Owen Softchuck. Great feed ahead. Almost had McTaggart, but he bounced McTaggart on the wraparound. Centering play, and Speck was tied up at the last second. This Brisbane line looking dangerous. Right now, the equation is a goal every 3 minutes for the Brisbane Rampage. And with every second that passes, that equation becomes a little bit different. Lefebvre, sharp angle shot, rattles wide and into the corner. Scooped up by Connor, stretch pass on the right side. Brisbane just a little off on those passes to Softchuck all night. But Woodman has neutralized him. Adelaide's taken away space. Jeremy Friedrich's been huge too. Here's Wood, here is a shot, and again, look at this vision. As Barnes powered towards the net, but on that last sequence of play, a nice little saucer touch pass. Luca Darcy getting involved. Jake Riley's got 2 goals tonight. But 3 points from Benson, McDougall, and Chen. 9 points combined from that line tonight. All 3 lines for Adelaide have goals. Barnes has this puck go wide with some intent. Anderson centering play. Adelaide has a player drawn down. Freeman was looking for a call, not going to get it. Young Julian Friedrich up the left wing, trying to power his way to the front of the net. He gets angled off by John Bale. Scooped up by Best. Sharp angle shot. Darcy makes another pad save. He's made 4 since entering the game. Freeman chipping the puck down low. Big, strong, powerful forward. Centering play in front. Loose puck all alone. Steve Best scores. His 2nd goal of the game. And that might be the one. He had a lot of time. Julian Friedrich is going to get an assist on it. And Steve Best, oh my goodness. He just took Luca Darcy out for lunch and then left him the bill at the table. Steve Best breaks a lengthy goal-scoring slump in the biggest game of the season. The alternate captain has 2 goals tonight. And maybe now, all those fans at the Lockleys Hotel can jump online. Loose puck in front again. Jeremy Friedrich really has been massive tonight. I know Adelaide scored 8 goals, but Brisbane could have 5 or 6 if it weren't for Friedrich. But now, there are, by the way, 100 tickets held for sponsors and members of the opposition team that will be released to them tomorrow. But anybody else that is maybe wanting to preemptively, I know it's early, still 6 goals, to go get those double passes for Thursday and Saturday on the PHL website. Adelaide up 8-2. Maley chips it forward. Daniel Chen trying to hunt it down. McTaggart gets back there first. Best with 2 goals. Chen with 2 goals. Riley with 2 goals. McDougall has another goal, as does Benson. Hazel's played really well tonight. 4 points last weekend. Plays it on the off wing. Adelaide, first man back is Daniel Chen. He's cut off by Owen Softchuck. Still pointless tonight, and Chen takes that puck away. A dominating performance. Maley, he's got a couple assists. Now Chen almost took the puck away in front of the net. Brisbane will carry this one out. McTaggart. We're 0-7 without McTaggart in the lineup, and Brisbane won 4 games in a row to punch their ticket to the playoffs. Now it's a breakaway. Darcy's going to skate all the way out to it, and he plays it at the blue line. That gets a big crowd reaction. Brisbane take it the other way. Now Barnes behind the goal. He almost did it again. That's how he scored his goal just 30 seconds into this period. Period started 6-1. Benson scored 19 seconds in, then Barnes scored. Time still ticking away on this power play. Now Jake Riley plays it ahead, and it's a rolling puck. Riley's going to get there first, looking for the hat trick. Riley scores. It's a short-handed goal. And Jake Riley has a hat trick in back-to-back games. Wow. Jake Riley on a hat trick night. In Adelaide, it's domination. 7-goal advantage, 12 minutes to play. And you know that a very large Adelaide contingent will be at Ice HQ next week if this score holds. Sponsors and members, if you're watching, and I know you are, check your emails later tonight. But book those tickets if you can now. There are still some available. Zach Steele plays it up the boards on the right side. Chipped off the near boards again. Brisbane still on the power play. Santilli back to the point. Adelaide's #1 penalty kill in the league, has allowed a goal today, but they have scored a shorthanded one. Benson, Best, and Riley, the goal scores this period. Now, a turnover in tight, turning around. Adelaide still desperately trying to defend, and Freeman will clear this, but it takes a weird bounce off the boards, and it's finally out as the teams are back at even strength. Brisbane back on the attack. Santilli chips it forward and takes a tumble into the Adelaide forward. Woodman will try to skate this one out. Woodman all the way into the attacking zone. Santilli lagging a little bit, and Jamie Woodman scored. Domination. And Adelaide's best defensive player has found the score sheet. It's 10-2. This is wild. Adelaide chipped off the boards. Back into the corner. 10:41 to go, and it's just a formality. Adelaide's still looking for more, and now they just got to stay healthy for a best-of-3 series. Fans are leaving the building. 10-2. I am at a loss for words. There was a lot of different scenarios of how this game could go, but I don't think this was one. I know Adelaide wanted to play this game in front of their home crowd. Tipped off to the right side. Hazel off at the left point through traffic. Tipped down and scores. It's 11-2. A Jake Hazel point shot, and everybody's getting involved now. Hazel on the intercept, and it's tipped by Joey McDougall. It's a McDougall goal. It's his second of the game. And the team's calling a timeout. And this is something to watch. Draw back to the left side. Steele tips it forward. They must be going crazy at the Lockleys Hotel. This is the most lopsided game that we've had in the league this far. It's been a close competition. But Adelaide are looking like they're off to the best-of-3 finals, all in Melbourne. Game 1 Thursday night this coming week. Game 2 Saturday night. Game 3 if necessary on Sunday. Right side. Riley tips a shot in on net, and they make that save. Luca Darcy with the stop. Question is, I guess, how do the players play it from here, and what is the formality? Off the draw again. Adelaide plays it forward. It's one of those awkward moments. How do you call a game? People know that I am obviously involved in the Adelaide club. Brisbane, though, have fought hard all year. They stormed out of the gates. That 6-2-1 start was impressive. A 7-game losing streak had their postseason hopes in peril at one point. Hazel chips one forward. That stopped on the left side. Naily plays it into the left board. Brisbane will walk this one out. Teams battle away in the corner. Naily, he's got a few assists tonight. A complete line effort from Adelaide in this game. Swatted down out of midair by Jordan McTaggart. McTaggart plays this in the corner, looking for Stefan Speck. 50 shots on goal to 28. Don't let the scoreline deceive you. Jeremy Friedrich is a very, very important part of this. Brisbane in tight again. Goes off to the right side. Jack Connor chips it around the boards. They're looking for Stefan Speck. Speck plays it up, and Johan Levesque on the left side. And Adelaide pick it up in the neutral zone. Riley with 3 goals already. He finds Nathaniel Benson. Benson out wide. Darcy makes the save. Well, Adelaide versus the Ducks is going to be interesting. The Ducks, the #1 team in the Pacific Hockey League. Adelaide, the #1 team in the league since round 3. Adelaide with the #1 goal differential in the league, but it's really hard to tell. These teams really haven't played each other at full strength this season. Both teams are so different from round 1. And the last 2 rounds aren't really a fair indication. Adelaide was missing 9 players one game. Felt like the Ducks were missing about a dozen. Played off to the right side. Centering play in front. Adelaide attacking the zone. Brisbane. Connor tripped up. That should be a call, and it isn't. Moving in is Derry Adler off the left point. And now the teams need to avoid this rough stuff. That's getting an irk from the crowd. Zach Steele right in the middle of the action. How do you recap this game? Let's start in the first period. A nervy start for both teams, but at the 13:24 mark, Daniel Chen scored to make it 1-0, and Jake Riley moments later made it 2-0. Harley Anderson scored a crucial power play goal. Made it 2-1, but Jake Riley with 9.9 seconds left made it a 3-1 game. But that was crucial because Brisbane were on a power play. And then Ben Spillane took 2 penalties on 1 play, a slashing and a roughing call. It negated the power play, made it 4-on-4, and then gave Adelaide a double minor power play advantage. Riley scored on the first one to make it 3-1. Steve Best early in the second made it 4-1, but then Jeremy Friedrich made a few great saves in a row. It really could have been 4-3 or even 4-4. Brisbane pushed back, but Friedrich was sensational. Joey McDougall then scored to make it 5-1, then the floodgates opened. Moments later, Daniel Chen 6-1. Off of McDougall, uncreated turnover. McDougall's been involved in a bunch of the last goals. He's all of a sudden got a 4-point night. Nathaniel Benson then scored 19 seconds into the third to make it 7-1. But Barnes 10 seconds later made it 7-2. Steve Best, Jake Riley, Jamie Woodman, and McDougall off a Jake Hazel tip shot, and then scored the last 4 goals. And Adelaide are running away with this 11-2. 11-2. I think everybody around the hockey world will be a little stunned. Owen Softchuck, the PHL leading point man, is held scoreless in this game. Jake Hazel's been excellent all season. Let's look at him on there. But what a season for Brisbane. This organization has fought really hard to establish a route here in Queensland. And they sold out this barn. But Adelaide put on a clinic tonight. They were a confident bunch heading into the game. And just like it's been all season long, it's been a big team effort. Swatted down in front of the net. The crazy thing is Adelaide's not even full strength. Darren Corstens, Ben Hamburg, and Jared Siemens are ready to be deployed back into the lineup, which makes Adelaide probably one of the only teams in the country that can roll 4 strong lines, although the Ducks are right there with them. That will be a clinic to watch, a spectacle of Australian ice hockey. Jeremy Friedrich being brilliant tonight. Chipped off the boards. Noah Maley plays it off to Tom Sack. Leads it forward. They're looking for Jake Riley. That gets intercepted. Freeman lays a hit. Sack picks it up and it's played around the boards. Back to the left point. Adler chips it in goal, looking for Softchuck, trying to find the score sheet. Sack swats it down the ice. If it goes wide, it'll be icing. It won't be because Darcy will play it and play it up to the left wing. Adelaide creates another turnover. Somehow Adelaide's leading goalman, Johan Levesque, has not scored today. I don't think he'll mind too much at all. Jake Riley with hat tricks in 2 straight games. 4 points tonight. 24 points in his last 10 games. Elite. McTaggart to Anderson. It is quiet here. McDougall has been so involved in the last half of this game, trying to add to an already impressive night where he has 2 goals, including that great tip shot. And for Adelaide, they'll feel like job's not done. It was a business trip for them, 24 hours in Queensland. Try to get the win and head back to South Australia for a couple days of training before heading to Ice HQ to take on the Ducks. Brisbane had dreams of playing in that game too, but thorough domination from the Adelaide Avalanche. Team skirmish for it in the corner. Daniel Chen, he really was the one that got the party started. This line has been elite for Adelaide. McDougall gets it back to the right point. Steele chips it in. Nathaniel Benson gives chase in the corner and throws one into the front of the net. And it will be played out to the right side. There's a penalty coming. It's going against Brisbane. And Adelaide's going to get their 6th power play advantage of the game. So a 2-minute penalty coming up, and I think this is where it's going to go. Well, I don't know about that. Adelaide 1 for 5 on the power play. They have looked threatening throughout the game. That wasn't where the penalty was, by the way. It's going to be John Bale in the penalty box. So Adelaide will try to add to what already is a crowded box score. Freeman off to the right point. Chip down low to Levesque. Levesque plays it off to the right boards to Woodman. He's got a goal tonight. Freeman again. Chip back down low to Best. 2 goals. Broke a goal scoring slump. Freeman, the import Canadian, nice pass across. He was looking for Johan Levesque. That gets chipped away. Young Julian Friedrich getting some power play time. He is the 10th forward in this game, although he's got 2 forwards coming to join him, so Adelaide will assume run 4 full lines next week in Melbourne. If you're the Ducks, how are you scouting this game right now? Boy. Draw one by Softchuck. Adelaide has a short-handed goal in this game too, don't forget. Levesque has the puck frozen behind the net. 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Adelaide just got to make sure they don't add any more injuries to the list. Chipped out all the way down. And Jeremy Friedrich will play the puck. Played off to Tom Sack. Sack's such an important part of this Adelaide team. Usually resides in Perth, showing great commitment to this Adelaide bunch. Came over from the National Hockey Super League. That's where the connection started with Adelaide. And what's been consistent across all of the teams, Coast, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Melbourne, is most of the players have said this is the most fun they've had playing hockey in a really long time. That's what this league has done to them. And the party's only going to increase next week. Levesque off the turnover. Backhanded play, tried to go upstairs. It rattled in behind the cage. Levesque chips it out. It's picked up by Brisbane. They'll scoop it down low. And they are 30 seconds away from killing off another penalty. Adelaide 1 for 5 entering the penalty kill today. Sack cuts up the ice, explodes to the left, and curls his way back. Kick forward, and now shorthanded Harley Anderson, who extended his goal scoring streak to 11, has this knock off. Brisbane, though, a lot of good signs going forward. Anderson and Barnes among the elite local players in the country. They have a steady core of some veterans that are there. If they can add a couple more kids to the mix, this Rampage team will threaten again. And McTaggart and Softchuck, excellent. McTaggart, you'd think, would be back. He lives in Brisbane, and he had a great season. 17 goals in 13 games. McDougall walks down low. Back to the right point. Penalty coming to an end. Brisbane will kill this off. Adelaide still can set something up. Riley just cycles this down. Works his way out back, and it's frozen by Darcy. So Adelaide now just 100 seconds away from going to the championship game. And there will be a sea of Crow Eaters heading from South Australia over to Victoria next week. Adelaide without Corstens, Adelaide without Hamburg, and Adelaide without Siemens. Next week's gonna be fun. Puck all the way down, icing waved off, 1:30 to go. 3 stars of the game, it's tough to tell, but for me, Jeremy Friedrich getting the 3rd star. I know it's an 11-2 game, but he made some big saves, especially early in the second to weather the storm. Daniel Chen has a 4-point night, hard to look past him. And Jake Riley has a hat trick, hard to look past him to round out the 3 stars. But Joey McDougall also led by example, created turnovers. He's got 4 or 5 points tonight too. Any combination of those players works pretty good. Harley Anderson enters the zone. Player blows a tire coming in. Anderson, sharp angle shot. Friedrich makes the save. It's his 29th of the night. Fresh off a shutout at the World Championships. Levesque finds Friedrich off to the left side. Players just skating this one out. The intensity was so high in the first half of this game. It's just been a totally different 3rd period. Levesque off the boards. Brisbane will skate this out. Big local support today at Acacia Ridge. It was awesome to see so many people come out Barnes cuts towards the middle of the ice. Best lays it up to the left side. Benson's been big, drives to the front. He gets angled off the puck. 27 seconds to go. Puck chip forward. Teams split the series in the regular season, but Adelaide wins what you could call Game 7 in the 7th matchup between them. They were so close all season long. Now it's a 2-on-0. Levesque in tight, walks in, and it's poke checked away, and it's tied up. 3 seconds to go, and now you can book your ticket to Melbourne. Dominant from start to finish. 11-2. Hat trick to Riley. 2 goals to Benson. 2 goals to Best. 2 to McDougall. 2 to Chen. Woodman and Riley. Everybody joining the party. But what's there more to say than that's about as dominant of a display as you'll ever see in a hockey game. And Adelaide traveled to Queensland and thumped the Rampage. Rampage season comes to an end. They'll shake hands on what was a roller coaster season. And Adelaide will go home and start booking their flights to Melbourne. 11-2. Thank you so much all across the country, around the world, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the call. I always love talking hockey. Please don't be afraid to shoot me a message if you want to chat about the game. My name's Eric Ballnar. Thanks to the whole Spacequake Sports crew for putting on the game, especially the ones that drove from Adelaide to put it on. We'll see you next week for the grand final in Melbourne.